Hey there guys, this is Right Art with another tutorial. So this time I'm going to be showing you how I mix my colors, which is the best part of painting, honestly, because you can just customize your colors. You don't have to worry about, what color pencil you have or what you don't have. If you are a color pencil user. No hate though. I'm going to stick with my painting here because I just love it. I'm obsessed with it. So unfortunately here the camera kind of looks a little different with how the picture is shown. Because on my end, like it's a little more greenish, but the photo here is more like leaning towards purple, the purple shade. But here I always start with the very basic red, blue, yellow. So, and of course, I'm going to have a white there as well. There it is. So usually I use cadmium red light, or you can just use a cadmium red, any cadmium red, a ultramarine blue, and a cadmium yellow. And those are going to be the very basic colors that you need to mix pretty much any tone for portraits that you can think of. So usually I just start off with like a generic mixture of the three. Usually you'll get like a brown, kind of a brownish color, and I just like to start from there. Take that brown and just mix more colors into it and figure out where I want to go. Usually I can just take that base and just push it towards any direction. So mainly I'm going to be focusing on the lip color first, and then we'll go to the skin tones. And as you can see, of course, this is the best thing you can do here. You can take the palette knife as you're creating these colors, and you can immediately just compare the colors to the photograph that you're going to be working from. And I suggest you print the photograph, of course, of your source material, because you can't really use this technique on a tablet or a phone. You have to be able to, have your reference on paper and compare it that way. If you try to put it over your phone, it's just not going to work. And you can see here, I'm trying to start off with one of the skin tones, just to get it out of the way. Of course, immediately it's too yellow, so I have to add some different tones there to change the color slightly. Now, these lighter colors are very hard to mix sometimes because they're just mostly titanium white. So when you have colors like that, you have to just add just little, as you can see what I'm doing there, just very little amounts of color, just because if you add more than you need, it can really shift the color to something else entirely. here we're going to start with the lip color here. So as you guys can see, I kind of put down a couple of different reds. So the original red that I put in first, that cadmium light red. Yeah, so that one's a little opaque. Usually, you don't want to use it just because it's gonna make your color a little too bright. I kind of want to keep it transparent, so that's why I kind of switched another red in there. Now those two reds are transparent, which it'll make the colors brighter. There's no like white in it, so you guys can see like immediately it's like I'm matching it perfectly, just with those two colors. Because that first red is just too bright, because it has like a little hint of white in it, so it's just making it too bright, and it's and I believe it's a little too yellow as well. But those two reds there, that combination just was perfect. It matches the color completely. And sometimes you guys don't have to just be so perfect. You don't have to match the colors perfectly. You can do your own thing. Art has no rules. So if you want, you could make it purple. You can make it green. The only important thing is that you want to try to get those tones. So like you can see, there's areas in the lips there that are really dark, and there's areas that are light, and then there's areas that are just like could be almost pure white. So you just want to match those tones if you're aiming for that realism. But really, you can use whatever colors you want. Just for this tutorial, I'm just matching the colors from my reference. But there's a lot of times where painting something, and I'd rather have it look a certain way, and I'll change my colors. So like there's no issue with that. So don't be afraid to experiment and try things out. And as you guys can see here, I added a little green and mixed that in with my red. Now what that does is actually make the red darker. So here I'm trying to match that darkest shade of red that's in the lip color here. And the best way to do that is by adding green to your red. Green is like the opposite of red. So anytime you add a green to any red, it's going to automatically just make it darker. To the point where it could even go to a black. So you can see here, like I'm pretty close, but I think this mixture that I had might have had too much white in it. It might have been too opaque. So I actually ended up right there just scooping the whole thing of green and just adding a tiny bit of red to it, just to get that darker shade of color that's on the lip. So that's a quick way of getting that color in there. The darkest colors are probably the easiest to really mix. It's the lightest color, like the skin tones, is where you're probably going to have the most difficulty as a beginner. But it's a learning process. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep doing this in order to get better. And at some point, you're not going to need the reference photo. You're not going to need to print something. You can just look at it on the phone and just eyeball it from there. I'm just really doing this for tutorial purposes. Usually I don't like printing my references just because it's using up a lot of ink, and ink costs money. So I'm not trying to burn through that. And I paint a lot, so you guys can see my channel, like I do a lot of painting, so I can't afford to print reference photos like that on the fly. But if you're a beginner, you need to do it. You have to do it so you can teach yourself how to see color, because a lot of beginner artists, you can't see color. You don't know what you're looking at. So you're not gonna understand how to match it. And this is
a great way to teach yourself how to see color. If you do this for a while, compare, or you could just do it for practice. You don't even have to, paint your reference there. You could just match the color for practice. But as you do it, you're gonna get better at it, and then eventually you won't need the photo. You can just see it anywhere and be able to match that color immediately. All right, and if you guys want me to make more of these, I can do that. Or if you even have a reference photo where you have a color that you're stuck with, you can send it to me and I'll make a video and show you how I match that color. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you do want me to make more of these videos, just let me know in the comments, and I'll make more for you guys. And I love teaching you guys, so I'll do what I can here. Thank you so much for watching.